And then at that time I didn't know anything about horses or jockeys, so I ignored it a little bit until I saw one of the adverts when Smanga won the 2013 Durban July with heavy metal. Then we were sitting at home, and then I told my family that I got an opportunity to do this, and they said, no, you know what, if you want to try it, let's go for it. And then that's where everything started.
That's a lovely story. And Smanga Khumalo, of course, as we all know, won the Hollywoodbets Durban July very recently on sparkling water. Yes. And what a wonderful human being is Smanga. I love interviewing him. I love talking to him. I love interacting with him. And he's just so wonderful for racing, isn't he?
Yes. No, he is. He's a gentleman, down to earth, and he's also very helpful whenever you need him at times.
Well, it took lots of persuading and lots of pulling of teeth to get me up to Ashburton, not because I don't like Ashburton, it's because I love Ashburton, but the road to get here is not pleasant. How are you?
It's fine.
Now I see why you don't come to the office very often, because the road, are they ever going to fix it?
The road's a nightmare, man.
Is it ever going to be sorted?
Probably in about 10 years. By then it'll be too late. We'll need another lane to put on the highway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time there's a truck breaks down, we sit back. Mind you, it's a good place to bloody hijack trucks.
It's lovely to be up at Ashburton Training Centre on this glorious winter's day. Andrew Harrison, myself, and we're talking today to young rider, I want to get it right, Mpumelelo Mjoka. Is that right?
Correct.
Spot on.
Spot on.
Okay, Mpumemelo Mjoka is here with us today, and we're going to hear more about him and what makes him tick and what are his future plans. And it's just absolutely wonderful to have you on our podcast, Pumi, as you're affectionately known. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Let us ask you a couple of questions to get the ball rolling. I want to know about your family, your immediate family and your greater family.
At the moment, we are a family of 6.
Right.
It would have been more since last year I lost my father and my sister due to COVID.
Shame.
Yeah, but then again we were left with my mother, my daughter, and my sister's daughter, and then my missus, and so on and on. So yeah, we're getting through.
You were showing me your fancy new phone, which is very nice, and I'm just wondering why I didn't get one like that when I was upgraded. But maybe my account is not as active as Pumi's is. But
why do you always go for an upgrade? I got a nice one here.
Yeah.
Asked me for an upgrade, but I'd come down from 500 Rand a month to 150.
Okay, so yeah,
that is a bargain.
Absolute bargain.
A little bit older.
I saw the most magnificent picture of your little one on your screensaver. Tell us about her.
Yes, her name is Mia Nomcebo. She's 2 years old, and she's my everything. She's my everything, and a little bit naughty, and also love to steal my phone quite often.
and to play games and to fiddle with the music and all that.
She always fiddles with the music. She's always singing, and yeah. But then again, I'm just happy whenever she's around.
Pumi, how old are you?
I'm 25 years old.
25. Remember when you were 25 back in 1937?
I wish I was back then. Back then, 25. Make a few different decisions in my life, that's for sure.
Yeah, I suppose we're all in that same boat. If we knew now, what does I say? If we knew then what we know now, we'd make a few changes, that's for sure. Where are you from, Pumi? Where were you born?
I was born here in Durban at a small township called Illovu township.
Okay.
And then over the years we moved to Amanzimtoti. I went to a school called Genji Secondary School in my high school days, and then from there that's when I got an opportunity to go to South African Jockey Academy.
Well, seeing that you bring that up, the South African Jockey Academy, what school were you at before you went to the Jockey Academy?
At Genji Secondary School.
Okay, and you matriculated at the Jockey Academy.
Yes, sir.
Tell us how you heard about this organisation called the South African Jockey Academy.
At that time, there was a man called Charles Gray that was part of recruitment with when it comes to appies and so on and on. So he was the one that came to Genji Secondary School, and then he spotted me. Obviously, because of my height and my weight, I was very small and short amongst everybody else. And then he gave me an opportunity to become a jockey. He told me that, you know what, if you consider this, most jobs, they don't really require short people, and especially if you're small and you literally weigh under 50 kgs, so they don't require you. But in this business, you can actually have a career. And then at that time, I didn't know anything about horses or jockeys, so I ignored it a little bit until I saw one of the adverts when Smanga won the 2013 Durban July with heavy metal. Then we were sitting at home, and then I told my family that I got an opportunity to do this, and they said, no, you know what, if you want to try it, let's go for it. And then that's where everything started.
That's a lovely story. And Smanga Khumalo, of course, as we all know, won the Hollywoodbets Durban July very recently on sparkling water.
Yes.
And what a wonderful human being is Smanga. I love interviewing him. I love talking to him. I love interacting with him. And he's just so wonderful for racing, isn't he?
Yes. No, he is. He's a gentleman, down to earth, and he's also very helpful whenever you need him at times.
Can you make that noise that he makes after his interview?
Whoop, whoop.
Tawanda's just shaking his head in disbelief. Okay, so that's a wonderful story. Tell me about your weight. Do you have an issue with your weight?
No, I don't have issues with my weight. I've always been a light jockey, but recently, since I was off, I've been battling a little bit to get to 52 on the dot, but my weight is looking quite good now.
Do you have an agent that helps you with your rides, or are you a one-man show at the moment?
I do have someone that's helping me with my rides, but most of the time we're just helping each other, because I'm still trying to get myself back on my feet, so we're helping each other wherever we can.
Well, that's one thing in racing. Once you disappear for 2 or 3 months, it's hard to get back in again. People sort of got short memories in this game.
Yes, no, it's very hard, because I was out for 4 months when I got injured in PE when I broke my ankle. And then coming back, it was a little bit difficult, but I was lucky that I had Com Naidu that was giving me the support to get me back on my feet again, and also I had the Crawford stable as well. They were throwing me horses there and there just to try and get me on my feet. So I'm grateful for those.
Has anybody heard of Anton Marcus?
Probably he's on holiday somewhere.
Yeah, Anton, we miss him. I actually messaged him the other day, and I didn't want to interfere with the reasons that he's off and all the rest of it. I just messaged him to say, how are you, get better soon, etc. But you're right, when people go quiet, we're missing him. When people go quiet, they go quiet. But sponsor, you're wearing LG Panel Beaters as cap, and clearly they're your sponsors.
Yes.
A lovely family, a racing family, and they do a lot for the game, and they do a lot for their sponsored jockeys. Tell us a bit more about them.
So I'm sponsored, as you mentioned, by Panel Beater, LG Panel Beater, which is owned by Mr. Pillay, Mini Pillay. He's got the white to the blue stars colors. You know what? He's the best boss ever. He can be hard at some times, but it's all for good reason. And his whole family, they are
those are the horses on a
Tanisha Pillay.
Yes,
a wonderful family that certainly love their racing.
They are the best. They love the racing. They always support, and they're willing to help out wherever they can. And the main thing is just keep them happy, and everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, LG Panel Beaters down in Glen Anil. Unfortunately, panel beaters you don't want to go and visit. You say, unfortunately, I had to go and visit the panel beaters when the car got dinged. But there's a big B next to you. That means you must take a pick six today.
Buzz in my ear.
Yeah, buzz in your ear. You must catch the pick six. So well done to LG Panel Beaters as well. seeing that you don't have a problem with your weight, and don't aggravate that bee now because it's going to come and sting me. Food, what's your favorite meal? What do you enjoy eating the most? Is it breakfast? Is it a dinner? Is it a braai? What is it?
You know what? I'm very good at braaiing.
Okay.
So, I would say, you know, I love braaiing, but to be honest, my best favorite meal is breakfast.
Okay, all right.
I love breakfast. I can have breakfast meals even late at night.
Yeah, I must say breakfast is the way to
go. I
so Pumi, that's when you left the academy. Did you go to Joburg or?
I went to Joburg when I was still an apprentice.
Right.
Because at that time I was battling here in Durban and I couldn't get rides that I needed and winners. So I went to Joburg with 0 winners, and then that's where obviously my career started. I started riding that side. You know, I had Paul Matchett helping me. I had Mr. De Kock throwing me a bone there and there. Alec Led, Mr. Peter, Byron Botus, you know, a lot of trainers, they were helping out quite a lot. And at that time we still had Kimberly as well.
Right.
So we had Tini Prinsloo helping me out, Dennis Kaysen, you know, Zitzman when he was still with Bill Human. So yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Right, and then you started making it there. So
yes.
Yeah, and then you had an unfortunate fall.
Yes, that was in 2017 when I just got back from France. I had a fall at Ranchis Fontaine. We were jumping out babies out of the pens, and then obviously my saddle wasn't in a good condition. So while we were galloping around the turn, my saddle slipped and I couldn't stay on the horse. And obviously I was on a baby and I was trying to hang on, and then the baby didn't know what must it do, just followed where my weight was.
Yeah.
And then I fell off, hit the rail, and then I broke my knee. It was something else. It was painful. I was off for I think for a year and 4 months before I got back into horses again. Yeah.
It didn't upset your confidence at all?
You know, when you start off, to be honest, you still got that in your brains that you need to protect your knee.
Yeah.
But then again, over some time, I got over that, and you know, I was lucky enough. Just when I got back, I think about 3 or 4 weeks after that, when I just got back, I rode a winner for what's this trainer again? Dorisham. I rode a winner for them. That was my comeback winner.
Okay.
And obviously from there, you know, my confidence started boosting up again.
Right.
And yeah, I got better and better.
But you were doing well in Joburg.
Yes.
And so why did you come back here?
When I got back after that injury, you know, things are not the same anymore, to be honest. You know, as you mentioned earlier on, once you're out of people's sight, you know, they forget you very quickly in the game. Yeah, and so things were difficult. I stayed there for an extra 2 years. Things were not shining up, and then I decided to come here at this side. When I got here, I worked here for a month, and then I got a job offer in PE by Jacques Straydon.
Right.
Yeah, and then I rode for Jacques. I started riding winners there, and then from Jacques I moved on to Mr. Naidu's yard. And then
did you go from Jacques to Mr. Naidu's yard in PE? And then you came up?
Then I came up here to Durban, yeah.
Right, okay. So yeah, Pumi's one of the few jocks that actually comes up to work.
So now you touched on that first riding accident, which was tragic and difficult, and then you were coming back, and then the second accident came.
Yes.
I mean, that's just a rocky road, really.
You're supposed to stay on there.
No, I always ride a glue in my back pocket.
You keep a bottle of glue in there. But yeah, so those two, you know, those two hurdles in your career path. I mean, you know, you're trying your best to come back. You're trying your best to have winners. You're trying your best to earn money. And you get these two damn injuries and two damn incidents that come along. You know, it must be frustrating of the highest, very frustrating. But you know, you've got to just rise above it for me.
Yes, you're 100%. You know, at the time, because this is what happened in PE. I was just doing so well, and then at races, my horse ducked. It was a nice ride. My horse ducked at the pull-up, and then I fell off. I fractured my ankle.
Sure.
So I was off for a couple of months, and then 2 days when I just got back from that injury, We were grass galloping again in Port Elizabeth, and then my saddle slipped. I went underneath the horse, and the same ankle snapped.
Oh, jeez.
So from that, it was a huge setback. But for me, I always take setbacks as obviously a lesson. I always tell myself that in life, when you have a setback, it's a time for you to just sit down and obviously observe and see whatever mistakes that you've been doing, and obviously try and rise above that.
Might be a good idea if you checked your saddles with
No, I do now.
Such a hard time.
I check them every time now.
you put up with this man every morning at Ashburton. Now he's full of nonsense. But now that you mention that, my next question, and I always with the podcast, I jump around from topic to topic, and that's all right because it's our podcast and we can do what we want to do.
Yes.
What motivates you to keep going? Because you say those lessons, those mishaps, you take as reasons or that things happen for a reason. But what motivates you to keep soldiering on?
To be honest, I love what I do. And not being on a horse every time, if let's say I got injured, or that reminds me how much I love what I'm doing. And I think that's one of my biggest motivation, is just to love what you're doing, because nowadays people don't do what they love. They just do it because they have to make a living. Yes. But I'm lucky enough to do what I enjoy and I love.
Pumi, has the fact that you have now become a father also installed some, not that you weren't responsible before, please don't get me wrong, has it installed more responsibility into you?
Yes, it has. We learn from everything that we do, and especially now I have to become a responsible father. I need to, obviously, whatever lesson that I've been learning throughout my years, I need to take that and obviously use that to my kids as well, and obviously tell them that this is the mistake I made, so don't do the same thing. So responsibility is not an easy thing.
Did you see it was such a good question? Tawanda nearly fell over that shade. Hey, can you?
He doesn't trust me.
Cut that off you.
You're tuck into your coffee.
Yeah, you must have your coffee. It'll get cold. Okay, but please, of course, enjoy your coffee. This is a relaxed family show. We know that. So, let's talk about. Well, before we talk about KZN now, and that you've said that you're back in KZN, but I want to elaborate a bit more on that. You spent some time in Johannesburg, and Johannesburg is got a lot of the Lebanese community. There's an interesting story to that. Now, share that with us.
Yes.
Sorry, because you said to interrupt you, said one of your most favorite foods is kibba.
Yeah. No, I was at that time when I was still in Joburg. I was riding for Mr. Peter. I was getting my chances there by him. He was supporting me quite a lot. And also the late Romeo Francis as well. He used to support me. And he used to make good kibba, Mr. Francis, and I used to enjoy it. So
what is kibba anyway? It sounds like bloody bull's testicles.
Goodness.
Oh my God.
Explain it, because I actually haven't eaten kibba. I know roughly what it is, but I'm told it's most delicious.
It's I don't know how am I going to explain it, but obviously they have it with the wrap, and
it's raw meat.
It's like raw meat. Yes.
Oh, is it raw meat?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like it's raw, but very fine
fine
raw
yes.
meat. You don't have the
told
Italians.
You bull's testicles. You don't know what you're eating it so fast.
You know that in the Italians they have carpaccio, beef carpaccio, and thin slices of, but it can be very similar. But we'll find out exactly. We must get somebody. Surely all our Lebanese friends can make us some kibba.
Yes, they're good. And also Calvin's mother as well.
Okay.
Calvin Habib's mother, she used to make good kibba as well.
Okay. Calvin always tells me that his mother's a bloody champion.
Star cook, absolutely.
So that's how I got my nickname, and they started calling me the Blackanese. I'm a black Lebanese.
Because you were so enjoying the kibba and all the Lebanese food. We were treated the other day, you're going to say, well, why weren't you? I can't answer that for you, but we went and had a delicious Lebanese lunch with some friends here in KwaZulu-Natal. We had the cabbage leaves filled with mince and rice. Oh, it was delicious.
It's called a rissole.
The fried, no, it's not called a rissole. It's Italian. And we also had fried chicken. But okay, so that was your nickname given to you by the Lebanese community, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lovely story. Now you're in KZN. Let's elaborate more. Why? You've touched on KZN, but why are you here? What's your plans? What's going on here?
Here in KZN, obviously, I'm riding for Mr. Nigel most of the time, and you know, my best idea that I have in mind is to obviously do as well as I can, because you know, KZN at the moment, you know, it's got the biggest stakes. It's sponsored by Hollywood. And Hollywood is all over the world, so every time when you're seen in a winning enclosures, and so that literally promotes you quite a lot. So that's one of my biggest main goals, to be promoted as much as I can. And obviously, you know, as jockeys, we all want to have the title. So I'm just hoping that I could get support wherever I can, and I'm just doing my best every single time.
What is your communication skills like? Because, you know, I've often said to people, in anything in life, you know, if you're a baker, you know, you can't just be able to bake the cake. You've got to be able to sell the cake. So what are your communication skills like? Because owners and trainers want to hear from their jockeys. They don't want to just see them on the horse's back and gone.
Yes.
Are you a good communicator, or is there room for improvement?
There is a lot of room for improvement, because to be honest, as an apprentice, you know how it is. The rules are you are not allowed to mingle around with a lot of owners and so on. You're not allowed to speak to owners. So when you come out of your time, you got to learn that yourself. So it's not easy to learn something that you haven't done before, so it takes time.
Geez, I know a lot of apprentices got big mouths.
He's full of compliments today, isn't he, Tawanda? He's full of compliments. Okay.
I think
he's in his home territory, absolutely. We'll leave him. He's allowed to be.
With time, you know, things obviously turns to become a little bit more lean and so on. You know, the riding masters that we had in my time, and obviously other senior jockeys' time, you know, they were very strict compared to the riding masters that they have now. You know, they're more open and so on and on.
Who were your riding masters?
When I started off in my first year, we had obviously Stephen Jupp and Mr. O'Donoghue. And then also Felix Kutsi as well was here.
Yeah, he cracked the whip for you blokes.
He wasn't playing. And also Mr. Curtis, he was here also. So mainly half of my first year was with Mr. Curtis and Felix Kutsi. And then
so we had a good start then.
Yes. And then in Joburg, obviously, I think my last 2 years I was with Mr. Moore, Robert Moore, yeah.
Talking about Comnadi, because you've spoken about a few trainers that have supported you, that continue to support you, and of course you'd like more trainers and more owners and more horses to get the support, and that'll come, I have no doubt, especially after this conversation. But in Port Elizabeth, Mr. Comnadi is ably assisted by a champion man.
Yes.
Tell us about him.
Lunga, he's an honest guy. He sticks to what he says, and that man works hard. He's a hard worker. He loves his horses as much as he loves his own kids. He calls his horses his babies. So
how many horses have you got down there?
I think he's got 20 plus horses. I'm not sure what's the actual.
Right,
yeah.
I'm glad for Lunga, because I remember chatting to him a couple of times at Summerfeld, not at Summerfeld, at Hollywoodbets Gravel. And he wasn't working at the time, and I'm so glad that he's found himself, a good job, and he really is an asset to the horse racing industry, is Lunga.
Yes.
Would you say you've got a good sense of humour? Do you enjoy a good joke, or you're a serious man?
I got a good sense of humour.
Well, he has to, yeah.
I got no choice here at Spurton, because I'm the one that's got the targets every single morning.
No, that's why I don't come here anymore. I know, so the target's on your back.
Yeah.
So do you all give him a hard time? Eh?
Bloody sure. Jeez, who else are we going to have a go?
Concerns for the future. I mean, when I say concerns, we always like to talk about the dreams and goals. You've told us what you want to do. You want to be noticed. You want to be riding winners. You want to be successful. You want to look after your family. But obviously, we all have a few worries and concerns for the future. Do you have any?
Yes, I do. Since this couple of years, I've been facing a lot of injuries. So that's one of my biggest worry. That I don't want to face any other injury again. I don't want any setbacks. I just want to keep on moving forward and obviously improving in my riding.
Just tighten your girth, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair enough concern, and we can only wish Pumi all the very best, and we pray for his health and his safety, and for everyone's health and safety. But yeah, you've done your time in the injury department now. You've done your time now. Let's move on and get you in the winner's box.
I'm a free man.
You up here, what, 3-4 times a week to ride for Com,
Yes.
Well,
it's a long way to go from Warner Beach.
Yeah.
is that where you stay, down at Warner Beach?
Warner Beach, yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Do you fish?
No, I've never fished in
jeez.
my. I'm scared of fishing. No, you will laugh at me, but you know those fishing hooks, they're not a joke. Not a joke.
Yeah, don't go fishing with him, because when he's had 3 or 4 beers, the hooks go everywhere. Don't worry, the hooks go everywhere. You're supposed to cast and throw in front.
Coming over.
So you travel from Warner Beach. That's where you're. Okay, sure.
Just
all the
to
way
be
up
here
to
every morning,
okay.
yeah.
And do you also pop into Summerveld, or is Ashburton your main base?
Mainly Ashburton is my main base, because you know my boss wants me here whenever I'm not in PE.
Okay.
So I have to be here. Canter days, fast work days, I have to be here just to make sure I know where I stand with these horses, and yeah.
Commie's a hard taskmaster. You think he's a softie, but he isn't really.
It is a bit tough because you know you obviously you've been given the chance and you want to deliver and you want to commit, which is 100% right. But you know, it would be nice if you could maybe in your schedule, busy schedule, try and get to Summerveld one day at least to see if there's there's somebody there.
Few bones lying around. Yeah.
Correct,
Yeah.
but it's tough because you've got to go where your priorities lie. You know,
Yes,
the guys
yes.
that are supporting you and that are sponsoring you and that are
Yes.
giving you the rides, which in turn are giving you the revenue. So
Yes.
it makes it hard, you know, to try and juggle,
Yeah.
you know, a jockey's program. It's difficult. It's not easy.
Yes.
Let's talk about winners. You've had a lot of winners. Do you have any idea how many exactly?
To be honest, I'm not sure how many winners I have, but you know, I'm just keep on plodding on.
It's been lots though. It's
Yeah.
it's been lots of winners.
It's been a lot of winners.
Okay.
A
And,
lot of 100 to 1.
Well, those are the ones you need to get on.
yeah, absolutely. Jeez, I was watching a race yesterday in England in a 6-horse field. I think they were betting 1 to 3 to 10, 10 to 1, 12 to 1, and 150 to 1. You know who won the race?
150.
Can you believe it? I
Yeah.
could not believe what I saw. I mean, I could not believe that 100. And I looked up its form. It had chloroform, never mind form. But anyway, that's racing. That just shows you the biggest certainty is the uncertainty.
And winner on Saturday.
We're getting there.
Sorry.
France. I want to talk about France. Tell us about your experience in France.
That was an amazing experience. That was a beautiful experience. I'm not just talking about obviously the place itself, but you know, everybody there. The ladies, they're beautiful. It's like they only got models there.
Oh, the ugly ones that keep in the behind the stand there.
From the time we landed, I think we dropped our jaws until we got back into a plane coming back this side. But my experience there in France was amazing. You know,
Did you only have the one ride?
yes,
And you won?
and I won. Yes.
100%. So you've got 100. Before we carry on talking about France, there's hardy dars. Drink your coffee because it's going to get cold. There's hardy dars in the background. There's tractors coming past. There's plates banging up in the kitchen. I hope maybe we'll get some breakfast, but I'm not holding my breath. Are you holding your breath?
No.
Okay. And Tawanda is very happy he's here with us, and is his colleague and our colleague. And we just thank Tawanda and his team for being up here as well, for helping us out. But now let's get back to France. You hold 100, as we sit here today, you've got 100% strike rate in France.
Yes.
Was it Longchamp?
Pardon?
Which courses was it?
It was Chantilly.
Chantilly.
Yeah.
It's not Longchamp. Longchamp.
Oh, it's Chantilly as well.
Well, you know the pronunciation.
Yeah,
is
come on,
different.
you're Frenchman. Come on, parlez-vous français.
Parlez-vous français?
Oui, oui.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're 100% strike rate. That's good.
And that was 100 to 1 also.
And was it also 100 to 1?
It was
Oh my
100 to 1.
goodness. So you're the 100 to 1 king.
I hope so.
What were you saying? You mentioned that.
No, it's rude.
Okay, no, it's rude.
It's my schoolboy French. I've forgotten most of it.
Tawanda was reminding us that you had a winner just on Saturday.
Yes.
That was on the big day, Hollywoodbets Durban July day. It was the last race.
Yes.
Roy's Katrina, was it?
No, Flashy.
Flashy Katrina.
yeah.
Flashy Katrina.
Owned by Roy.
Owned by Roy. It was lovely to see Roy at the races. We've missed him. He hasn't been around for a while.
Yes.
But what an experience to ride a winner on the big day.
it was a big experience. It was a big experience. I was grateful, and obviously with Mr. Mundli being there as well, it was thrilling to see him at the course as well.
So it's not a case of we're sitting here with Pumi and he's battling to remember when his last winner was, that it's been such a drought. His last winner was on Saturday. So we mustn't lose sight of the fact that you know how to ride horses, you know how to produce them, you know how to get them to win, and let's be upbeat about the future, for goodness sakes.
It's all about opportunity.
100%.
Correct.
100%,
but
100%.
But again, you've just proven that you were given that opportunity and you delivered.
And I delivered.
So
yes.
you're right.
I'm just hoping for obviously for more opportunities that will come my way, and support is the main thing in this game. Without support, you can't go anywhere. So I'm just hoping for support, and I know out there will be someone that will be supporting and obviously seeing what I can do and how much I can produce. So I'm just praying for that.
Yeah, well, we're also going to pray for that, and let's hope it comes your way, because also too, as I said, communication. You might not be able to get to a particular trainer or to a particular establishment, but maybe pick up the phone, and you never know, and just chat to one of you. Obviously don't phone we've all got people that don't like us. Don't phone the people that don't like you, they won't help you. But there must be people that do like you, and like there are a few people that like us. Phone them up and chat, and you never know what might materialize, because it's not every single jockey gets given a ride because he's worked it. A lot of jockeys don't ride work and they still get the ride.
I was trying to remember this story of Sentinel, I think, who rode it the first couple of times. He just happened to be walking past the ring, and Uncle Joe didn't have a jockey. He just called him in to have a go. And won.
So you never know any.
And Furious, there's a good story about Furious. When it went to Ann Upton, couldn't get it to win. It was a bit bloody dodgy. And Summerfelt was Fred Rickaby, so they sent it up to Ann.
Yes.
And first run, Harold Taylor had written a horse for Gail Thompson. Run 3 seconds.
Jeez.
So Gadsby was Paul is Harold Taylor's brother-in-law. He said, "Listen, you bloody useless, get off." So he jocked his brother-in-law off, and Anne said, "Well, I need a jockey. Harold, will you ride?" He said, "Yeah, okay, you got this thing. It's got no form. 1,600 meters, Scottsville." Furious went past. I was like this.
Sure. Yeah.
And he went from that maiden to winning the Summer Cup in 7 months.
Yeah, so you never know what opportunity is around the corner. But Pumi, there's racing on Sunday, and you've got quite a few rides, which is encouraging to see. This is not a tipping show. We don't look for good things, and if you want to give us a good thing, you're most welcome. We like a good thing, but what I'm saying is that whoever our guests are, if they've got runners, we like to talk about them, to promote them, and to hear about them, and to help the punters if we can in any way. So let's look at your card, and let's start off with the first race on Sunday. You've got a horse called Roy's Tease, who you've ridden twice. This horse is related to Wafif. So the pedigree's there, but the 2 runs thus far haven't been inspiring.
But they've been in features, haven't they?
Yes, she has been running in features, and she's still learning. She's still trying to find herself, and also as a jockey as well, I'm still also trying to figure out, and she's been running with a strong company. So I'm just hoping that on Sunday she'll be nice and quiet, because she is a bit of a hottie horse.
Okay.
So I'm just hoping that she'll be nice and quiet, and better draw this time. 1,600 meters, I think she'll enjoy the trip. So I'm just hoping for a good run. It will be quite a good experience for her.
There have been 2 features, you're quite right, but hoping, and there's scope for improvement. That's there's scope for improvement there with Roy's Tease. Okay. Let's then move along to the third race, where you're going to ride a horse called Johnny's Hope. Now, Johnny's Hope is a first-timer for the Naidu stable, Canford Cliffs, out of Temple Goddess. Didn't Com train Temple Goddess? If my memory serves me correct.
It was out of my time.
I could easily be wrong, but your sponsors have got a share in this horse. Tell us about Johnny's Hope.
It's a nice horse, and we're just taking it out there for a good experience. First time when they're running first time out, you don't want to be bustling them up and obviously hitting them and giving them the worst experience. You want them to enjoy, come back feeling fresh, and obviously next time they'll be happy enough to race again. So that's the main
Pumi
thing.
sponsored by panel beaters. I know a few jockeys who could become panel beaters.
I don't.
You go to the 5th race when you're riding for Roy Mudley. Roy's hopeful, who's by Royal Navy ship, and wasn't the most inspiring debut, but I remember that jumped awkwardly and just never shone after that.
Yes.
Going distance, obviously this is a horse that needs the distance and needs maybe a bit of time.
Yes. This horse, the main thing is to just obviously settle it, because we're going distance this time, and see if it will see the trip. That's the main idea, because I think if I'm not mistaken, this horse is obviously bred to go distance as well. So that's the main thing. We're trying to see if this horse will see the trip, and if not, then we'll bring it back and see where we are.
Mr. Munlal owns Sir Pom. That's going to be your penultimate ride on Sunday. And Sir Pom's a horse that's never too far off the action and looks to have a lively chance here. I see the official winning form publication have actually tipped Sir Pom to win.
Yes, for me, I'll say that's one of my best rides for the day. And the last time when I rode Sir Pom, I rode that horse with a strong field, and now on Sunday it will be running obviously with its company, and I'm just hoping for the best.
Yeah, it was Andrew, a merit rated 90 handicap, 5 lengths of Lunacam, now drops to a 77 handicap.
So there's a big difference.
And of course you'll know Sir Pom well. You've ridden him in his last 2 starts.
Yes.
So there we go. Maybe we can.
I definitely got a chance. I was playing with tipping him to win.
I'm glad he didn't, because then you would run second.
I took 35 winners yesterday.
Did you tip 5 winners? Tractors? Could you not? You're the mayor of Ashburton. You're the mayor of Ashburton, and you couldn't arrange the tractors to be half an hour late.
It's
Working in progress.
This must be an omen, because the tractors are fixing up the garden here. And then the last ride is Gardenia.
Yes.
And the 9th race, let me just check that is right. Yeah, the 9th race you're riding Gardenia, and this is for Lola Crawford stable. And these 2 young ladies do their very best with their horses. And tell us a bit about Gardenia, because you haven't ridden him in a race, haven't ridden her in a race before, but she's also hasn't got the worst form.
Yes, I think she's also one of my best chances for the day as well. You know, I've been riding her quite a lot here at home, and I've been getting along with her, and from what I've felt here at home, I think she's got a big chance. And obviously looking at her last 2 runs, she hasn't been lucky most of the times, but then again, I'm just hoping for her to put her best foot forward on the day.
Was that Lunga?
Yes.
Let's answer it. Let's put him on the podcast. Let's put him on the
Let's
podcast.
see if he's still. There we go. Mr. Lunks.
Now you're not allowed to swear because you're on speakerphone. And how are you? Do you know this voice?
I'm alright, boss. I'm alright, yourself.
I'm good, thanks, Lunga. You are live on the podcast with us. We've got Mpumelelo Mjoka here in the podcast with Andrew Harrison, and we saw the phone was ringing, and we thought, let's answer it, and we were talking about you. You must have heard.
No, not really. I've just finished up work, boss.
Okay, Lunga, Pumi will phone you. We nearly finished, but I just wanted to say we were talking about you and all the hard work that you do, and you phoned, and we just wanted to put you on the podcast to say hello and keep up the good work.
Thank you, boss. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
No problem. Pumi will phone you back shortly.
No problem. Thank
Okay, cheers, brother.
you.
Bye. How's that now? We say you talk of the devil, that, and there he is.
Yeah.
Finished work, and what a wonderful
Oh, well,
man.
Pumi's off to PE tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow morning I'm going
morning.
that side. Yeah.
Okay, so what are the flights? Sorry, we were talking about, let's go back to Gardenia. So you're hoping for a good run, expecting a nice run.
Yes, I'm expecting a win.
Okay, well, there we go. That's fantastic. So Gardenia and
Sir Pom.
and Sir Pom. Well, we wish you all the very best with those 2.
Thank you.
The flights to PE, how does that work now? Because is there a direct flight from? Have you got to go to Joburg first? Somebody told me that Warren Kennedy was telling me they battled to get flights.
There is a direct flight. I'm taking a direct flight tomorrow.
Okay.
It's a 6 o'clock flight. It takes you straight from here to PE and back, obviously later at night, straight after races, and then you fly back that side.
Okay, so there is
Yeah,
that helps,
there
I
is.
suppose. Yeah,
But it's
also
expensive.
Sure, I can imagine
It's
it's
close
not
to
cheap.
almost $4,000, and and you obviously going there not making much, but most of the time it's not about money. It's obviously about the prestige as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The exposure.
It's funny that you fly from all these, like Maritzburg. You fly from Maritzburg to Joburg. It just costs you an arm and a leg.
Sticks you out.
It does stick you out. And when you drive to the airport and fly back, that's 800
it's
rand
a lot.
return.
But meanwhile, back at the ranch, the cost of petrol, I nearly fainted. My little car normally 480 rand would fill me up.
Yes.
It's now nearly 800 rand to fill up. It's absolutely unbelievable.
Well, you better go and join Zwellen Ziza army though, because they're having a protest.
So I don't know.
With toy in the road.
I think we
driving,
should join them.
like you say, was driving to Joburg. It's
Can
probably
you dance?
cheaper to fly. I'm a very
you
good
toy?
dancer. Did you not see me at the barnyard the other night, going on the dance floor? I'm very good.
No, toy, not dance.
No, I don't know about toy, but dancing I know. Now, so the costs are huge, and then of course you've got to drive, as you say, you drive from Warner Beach up here. Then of course the airport from Warner Beach is on the other side.
Yes. So it's about an hour drive.
Sure. Okay.
So petrol and flights, geez, it's like I'm working for those things now.
Somebody said to me the other day, we're all just working to pay our petrol account.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, we're alive and we're well, and it's been wonderful with Pumi, and from Andrew and I and everybody in racing, we just love your vibe. We love your cool, calm and collected attitude.
Thank you.
And fire up and do your best. If there's anything we can do to help, give us a shout, because there's no doubt that the talent is there, and you rode a winner just the other day, so you know how to do it, and let's hope you get the chances that you get, that you deserve, and to you and your family, all the best, Pumi.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Please
thanks, Pumi. We can wind you up tomorrow.
No, I was going to say, leave him now. Don't wind him up, because the man's a father. He's got stresses. He's got work pressures. Now he's got to come and deal with you mugs at the track giving him a hard time. Stop it now.
Oh, well, got to have a bit of fun.
You're damn right, we've got to have a little bit of fun. And all that's left is to wish Pumi well, and thank you, Andrew. It's been lovely coming up to Ashburton. Try and sort out the roads. You're the mayor here, man. Sort out the roads.
Don't you see all the roadworks? I'm trying.
Sure. We've been trying for 6 years to get the roads right, but nevertheless, we're here and we're loving every second of it. Thank you to Tawanda and to the whole team that gets this production off the ground. Last weekend's podcast was phenomenal. Thank you to Greg Bortz for his time. He sent me a message last night. I think we're going on to 7,000 views.
Wow.
Many comments, close on to like 32 comments, positive comments. And in fact, talking about Greg Bortz, it would be remiss if we didn't quickly, before we close off, talk about the fact that Greg Bortz and Hollywoodbets are partnering to take over Cape Racing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go. We spoke to Greg afterwards, and he said Cape Racing's on the bottom, can only go up. So
can only go up.
So hopefully they get it right.
I think with a man of Greg Bortz's caliber, and of course Hollywoodbets' caliber, certainly can only go from strength to strength. So we must be positive for the future of horse racing. Watch this space. From Warren Lenferna, Andrew Harrison, Mpumelelo Mjoka, Tawanda, the whole team, thank you very much, and play safe, and we'll see you as always in the number one box.